Hi, welcome back. In my last video, I discussed conditional formatting with different formatting rules, where we discussed conditional formatting for numbers, discussed condition formatting with text, discussed with custom formula also. And after that, in that custom formula, I used indirect function also. So this time I am going to demonstrate the indirect function, the indirect reference. So how to use indirect function in my Google Sheet? Let's move to our Google Sheet. There I'll demonstrate this indirect function. So see here, this is my Google Sheet, and over here if you see, this word house is written here. I mean the title of my sheet is houses, and what I want to display the houses and how many students are there in each house with the help of the indirect function. So what actually indirect function does? So suppose this is houses word written in cell A1, and if I write it here like A1, but it does not print the houses here. Why? Because this is a cell address. But if I use indirect function along with this cell address, it gives me the result, the reference result. You see, say equal indirect, and here I'm including or I'm giving the data this one. This is D10. So this A1, the cell address of A1 or the cell A1 is written here. So when I use indirect with D10 on D column and 10th row, so when I say indirect, give me the value of D10. So D10 means A1. Now indirectly it will fetch the value of A1. So as soon as I press enter key, it gives me houses. So this is the value at A1. Okay. In the similar way, what I want to create a drop down here of the houses. These are my houses. I can take this data in another sheet also, but to show how indirect function works, I'm going to display it here in the same sheet. So over here I'm going to create a drop down using data validation. Go to data and click on the data validation and add new rule. Okay, and what I want drop down from the range. What is the range? I am going to take the range from here, and I say okay. So to make it dynamic, I can include one more so that if I add or remove any item from here, suppose I say done, click cross. So when I click on this, it gives me a drop down of houses. So if I suppose go to drop down once again, and if I added this, if I say increase, like this, and I say okay, done. So if you see here, nothing is changed in this drop down. But if I add one element in this drop down, suppose say shaker, so when I click on drop down, shaker will come, but I don't need, so but this is dynamically changed, so I'm going to delete this. I don't need this. Okay, so if I click on this, so it gives me the complete drop down. But what I want, when I click on this place, what should I do? I want, when I click the house, the list of these students should be displayed in column B. So if I click Ashoka house, the students from Ashoka house should be displayed here. When I click another one, Raman house students should be displayed here. So how to do this? So I'll take the help of uh, indirect function and named range function. So I'm going to give the named range function here, and you'll notice how to give the named range or name to the range. For that, I'll go to data and click on named range. This I have to delete this. Remove, because I tried this, so it was here. Now I'll have to do it from scratch, and that is why I'll have to remove this and remove this. So what I am going to give here, so I am selecting this range, and to this range I am giving name. So the name of the range is, it should be the heading, say Ashoka. So it will help me fetching the entire data from this drop down or from this list Ashoka. So if you want to extend, then you can extend also. Means I take maybe say 20, I-20. So till here, if anybody or any student is added to this list, it is allowed. So one range is done. Ashoka house is my range. So see here, so done. Okay, now I'm going to take the next range, add. Now I'm going to give the name to this range, and the name of this range is say Raman, because these names will help me bringing the data. Oh, suppose this, then I said okay. So my Raman range is ready. I say done. Now the next range I'm going to select, add, taking the range, this is the range, and I'm giving the name it as Tagore. Then say done. Now I am taking another range, that is Nehru. So I'm giving say Nehru, and this is the range, and I said now okay. So these named ranges are created, and on the basis of these ranges I'll try to fetch the data using indirect function. So here if I say indirect, okay, is equal to, suppose I am giving directly here, is equal to indirect, and this time I'm going to give the range, say A4. Let me see what happens. So now it gives the list of the students of Ashoka house. So when I click or select another house, the list of the respective house is displayed here. Again, likewise. So this is the drop down list, and this list is dependent on the houses. So whichever house I select from here, this drop down, the list of the students of that house are listed in this column, B column. So this way we can say a dependent drop down list. So I have created multiple drop down lists on the basis of depending on the houses. So there are 4 houses, and every house has uh, number of students. So whichever house I select, the corresponding list is displayed here in column B. So this way we can say how to use this way. I mean, indirect function works perfectly well when we want to use the data which is indirectly connected. So here Ashoka house or Ashoka word is indirectly connected, means directly connected to Ashoka house students, but indirect function will fetch with the help of name range from this list, because I have given the name of this list as Ashoka. The name of this range is Raman. The name of this range is Tagore and Nehru, and so on. So whichever house I mention here along with the uh, indirect function, the corresponding list is displayed here. So I hope you understood the concept of indirect function and multiple drop down with I can say the dependent drop down, because the name of these students are dependent on the house we select. So that's all for the day. If you like this concept, kindly share and subscribe and drop a comment in this comment box and for me, and because this comment is the motivation for me, so kindly do this. So we'll meet in the next video with some other scenario and functions. Bye bye.